tell your boss if he wants his town, come see me.
丹佐华盛顿、克里斯普莱特、伊森霍克加李秉宪，这骑士不但绝地，一字排开，这颜值真的高到吓死你。
Tell us what was on your mind when you first see all your leading men in costume line up for the first time.
I thought, this is very cool. And I felt like a kid because, the guys are all in, the boots and the belts and the guns. And I thought this is a very cool cast.
由震撼教育震撼擂台，私刑教育导演安东浮夸一手催生。老片新拍的《绝地7骑士》当然不是只有好看而已，为求最少特效、动作最逼真，每位主角都得进行骑马和武术特训，再从训练中设计出每个人不同的特色动作。
You always know how to present the audience the most handsome and most stylish action of your leading man. And how do you decide each signature move of this one? Like Ethan with guns and BH Lee with knives?
Yeah. The thing is that with the language of cinema is that, and with action, is that every single thing is still acting. The camera moves to tell a story about the action.
Yeah.
Just like you would be doing a scene of dialogue. It's language. Fighting is a language, right? People fight differently. They use the gun differently. They hold the gun differently. Their weapons, their movements, their heartbeats, different paces. So when I'm doing action, I'm thinking about all those things. Who's this character? How does he fight? Some people, like Navy SEALs, they go at the bullets. They go right at you. That's how they're trained. Mm-hmm. And that surprises some people. Some people like to hide and duck and move. Chris's character is like that. He's very mischievous.
Yeah, you're shooting.
Dude.
No, he's amazing. Shooting, it's really, he shoots too good. And I was good at doing the circus kind of thing, flamboyant thing, But the real shooting, Chris is amazing. You really.
Thanks, buddy.
And BH is fantastic with the knife.
Oh.
And he's like spinning and rolling, and it's beautiful to watch.
Right before we shoot that scene, I asked Antoine, "What if I use a hairpin in that hat?" Actually, originally it was a knife, and Antoine says, "I like that. I love it. Let's do it." So we made the hairpin inside the hat. So that's how it changed.
The obvious thing are clothes and things like that, but PH and I were always bringing ideas. Some of them he liked, some of them he didn't. We had lots of ideas that didn't make it.
You were a factory of idea.
Yeah, and that was Antoine's job is to kind of make sense out of all 7 of us coming at him with different ideas about how to make the movie stronger.
The coverage, the camera, works differently with each guy. You're still telling a story about that character.
If we can have Vincent's looks.
Yeah, we get Vincent's looks. Yeah. And BH's hair.
True.
Martin's shoulders.
Yeah. With a perfect cowboy.
Yeah, with a perfect cowboy.
骑士中最有分量的就是影帝丹佐华盛顿，这回甩枪行侠仗义，帅到掉渣，在片场大伙儿也少不了他。
He's got special aura and charisma. When he first came up to the set, he never said something, but he already controlling everything. That was an amazing moment for me.
He has a powerful energy about him. It's different. It's what makes him such a great actor. The power of his imagination. And, people think acting is about line reading or something like that. It's a whole other. There's something else happening when it's done at a high level. And he's the reason to make the movie. Seeing Denzel take the helm of such a kind of the American iconography of the Hollywood Western.
One of the best actors in the world, if not ever. I'm serious about that. Real. I'm not just saying that to be nice and because I like you. It's the truth, So and to be able to learn from him, it's priceless.
You mentioned that Denzel is like a leader on the set, and he even went to each castmate's trailer before shooting to talk with them. Did you do that as well?
I always do that just as a director anyway, but yeah, Denzel did that on his own. Yeah, he went and talked to every guy, and I didn't even know he did it. I found out about it when they came to the set. They're all excited and having fun, and I said, what happened? He said, Denzel just came to everybody's trailer and spent time with everybody. It's pretty amazing.
Is there any other memorable moment like this about his leadership?
Yeah, every day. I mean, it really is every day. There was days I remember where, you know, we'd be shooting until 5 in the morning and the sun would just be coming up and me and Chris would be sitting on the porch and Denzel had already left. And then he'd come back in his civilian clothes just to come sit on the porch with me and Chris and talk. You know.
What did you guys talk?
Yeah, just about life. It wasn't even always about the movie. It would just be about life. It was about family and things like that, about God. You know, we would just have discussions about things like that, which I was pretty impressed with because he could have been long gone. He had rapped already, but he came back and he just spent time with us.
不过，即使导演已经和丹佐合作第3回，震撼教育还把他推上影帝宝座。以下这一点，导演还是有些招架不住。
What was the most interesting question the logic monster Denzel ever asked you?
Where'd you get that from? Did you read that? Did you read that? Did I call him the logic monster?
Yeah.
That's funny. Wow, that's interesting. What was the biggest question?
Yeah, the most interesting question.
The most interesting?
Yeah, he ever asked
Oh
you.
God, Denzel asks interesting questions all the time. I couldn't even tell you the most interesting one. Honestly, Denzel asks you questions all the time about, you know.
Everything?
No, just things that he wanted answers to, things that he needed to know about, or nothing. It's not always negative. It's not always a challenge as well. It's something that he would bring up to think about, that he's thinking about, and would get me thinking about it, or the actors. He's always thinking. You know, Denzel's a filmmaker. He's a storyteller. You know, he loves it, and he loves for everyone to be at the top of their game. So Denzel would ask me questions about lenses because he just directed Fences. In fact, the most interesting thing is he literally would come sit next to me.
Watch the monitor.
And he would have a book, and he would sit there and go, what lens is that? Yeah. He would talk to me about the technical work, things like that, which was fun, you know, because he's so focused. It was great to see him come and sit down and just hang out with me and do that, you know, because he's now directing his I think it's his 3rd movie or 4th movie. So he went right into that after this. So he was already going into director's mode. So that was fun.
怎么感觉跟问问题问到大家都怕的刘青云大哥很像嘞？到底是有多会问呢？以下这个专访片段可能有答案。
You're gonna talk to somebody.
Right.
I mean, how long does it take to go from Louisiana to New Mexico on a horse? You know, like, I got about 2,000 miles to go by myself. How many guns would I take? There's no time to be reloading. How do you sleep?
Yeah.
Where does your food come from? How do you survive? How good are you with people? Just being alone. Now suddenly you come to a town, streets are watching, you know, I feel everybody. You know, and you're sending a message. I'm not looking for no trouble. But people, you know, and everybody's antenna has to be up. You know, these guys start rolling in town. Wow, you know, who are these guys? What do they want?
For mercy, begging for mercy. Oh.
Good Lord. That's right.
Yeah, and there was a lot of death moments, you know, a lot of rain.
Yeah.
So we had to wait for long, you know, lighting storms and so we bonded in that time, you know, smoked cigars. Chris brought cigars for everybody, and you know, just wait in the porch, sitting, watching the rain, smoking, and just talking about anything.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, that's right.
It was pretty cool.
Just bonding and passing time, the way cowboys did back then, when, you know, nothing was immediate back in those days, and you see why. I started to realize why cowboys talk and walk slowly. It's because you might only have 4 things to do a day. You're gonna take your time doing them.
Yeah.
No hurry, no reason to rush through the only thing you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, you might be waiting for a wheel to show up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
Yeah. And I think that those moments give us a lot of bonding, and I think you can see that on screen. You know, the chemistry of all of us. Yeah.
We usually gather at the bar. You remember the bar and on set? we gather in the bar, and I love those time when Ethan playing piano, sing a song. That's one of the most relaxing times.
We had a lot of, unlike most movies where everybody's called at certain times, because we were all always around. Even if you're not in the scene, you're in the background of a scene, or they weren't sure what scene they were going to shoot that day, so you had to be called, and we were all hanging out. It was a lot of testosterone and a lot of horseback riding and a lot of gun, a lot of machismo.
只是搞定了演员，导演还有一大挑战得克服呢。
Are those horses more difficult than the stars? We heard that they even have their own beer, the horses.
The horses, yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about divas. Yeah, they're the horses. Yeah, they do what they want to do. They're bigger than us. Yeah. They well, it was so hot one day. We had to give them a little bit of beer, which I never heard in my life. But the vet, I guess the pores, they couldn't sweat. There was something that was going on, and they gave them a little bit of beer, and that helped open the pores or something. And that was new for me, but it worked.
They got drunk or anything?
Drunk horses. No, we didn't shoot them that day. That was a down day. But yeah, they do what they want to do.
What's the plan?
I've always wanted to blow something up.
Is that a plan?
I'ma put your lights out. We can do this right now. I'm ready. Whoa.
He's a master filmmaker. He's a master. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to put films together. I'm sure the audience, as they watch the film, will, say, Denzel, go get him, yell him, whatever, So that's the popcorn of it, and that's really, that's the story.
I've never made a film that is quite such an audience pleaser.
It's a Western, but at the same time, we could say it's an action adventure.
One thing that we can't fail to mention is James Horner, the composer, who, in my opinion, I'm going to call it, is going to posthumously he's going to get nominated and win an Academy Award for score posthumously. He passed away during the course of us making this movie, and he was going to be the guy who was going to do the score for this movie. Everyone was devastated. Antoine was devastated, and then he was told by someone in James' camp that he'd already finished 8 or 9 songs, and that music is in our movie now. And so this is the last movie he ever got to score. So that's one reason to see it right there.
Hi, Taiwan. Please go see my film, Magnificent Seven. I think you'll enjoy it.
You ain't never seen a soldier like me. 1, 2, 3, I'ma get your name.
We got 7.
And he's got an army.
And they'll be murdered by the world's greatest lover.
The Magnificent Seven.